So like you said, some people know, some people don't. And I'm going to start with the title you introduced me as, which is the founder of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I want to kind of start there, or maybe we can back into it. But a lot of people will ask me about that technical term because of the show being, you know, part of a franchise. Some people don't really even understand that. And I think the TV world as a whole, you know, we get it. But for people who are watching, fans, audience members, people who just kind of click on and say, well, who is this? And, you know, why do I want to hear her story? It becomes sort of a conversation for me over the years. And like I said, I don't do a lot of interviews, but it's certainly one of the things people talk about. And I'll kind of touch on that. And the reason is the franchise is a franchise that was started in Orange County by Scott Dunlap and my good friends, Evolution Media. And I think it was sort of, and I don't know the full story, but I know that it was a look behind the gates. And so when that franchise started, which was, 2007, I think, or in and around there, maybe 2006, it was that look behind the gates. And that show had a primarily, or I believe, an all Caucasian audience. So a lot of people, you know, really, and it was, I think it was probably in about season 2 that other people started saying, well, what about New York? What about, you know, all these other places that had groups of women that could also be part of this franchise? And so for me, I guess I should start there. My career started simply because of that. Really, I do not come from a television background. I always want people to know that as well, because there's a lot of people who think, well, God, you know, you made it. And, you know, I'm just little old Susan from Kentucky. I'm never gonna, but no, I'm literally 2% of this industry where I just took my shot, went for it, and it worked out. And for me, again, I don't have a television background. I come from the beauty world. And then from beauty, I was an entrepreneur, had my own business, started my own business at 19, my own beauty aesthetics. I used to be an esthetician. And fast forward, you know, I kind of moved to Toronto from this little tiny place. I'm from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And I just kind of fell into something to do. I got in the finance world. I was an underwriter. Fast forward, I met my husband, who was recruited. He's a doctor orthodontist. He was recruited to Atlanta, met him, settled down, and became the ultimate housewife, which is not something I was used to. You know, I was used to making my own money. Like, I lived in a penthouse. I was really like doing it even at 19, 20, in my 20s. So when I met him, it really became, and it's such a culture shock, right? I'm Jamaican Canadian, born in Jamaica, raised in Canada. And then I moved to the South. And what I started to realize was, wait a minute now, there's women who look like me, who are Black women that are successful, that, quote, live behind the gates and drive nice, live nice, eat nice, wear furs. You know, I remember one of the first times I ever went to a game, I went to a Hawks game, and there was a group of women, Black women, sitting in the front row wearing fur, honey, wearing fur. And I said, wait up. Now, this is in Atlanta where it's 60, 50 degrees at the coldest. And they were wearing fur, and I thought, oh, this is fabulous. And, you know, I experienced things like that at home, but not to that degree, and not in a place where I could see women who just, again, look just like me, brown-skinned women, really doing it. And so fast forward, you know, I kind of had started to hang around with some women that were in that kind of category, doctors' wives, athletes' wives. And I started to see this life. And, you know, for me, again, I've always worked. I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always made something out of nothing, honey. You know, like I said, I had my son in the 10th grade, and I had to figure it out. And I started my little business. I didn't go to conventional route in terms of schooling and all of that. But what I knew was I had to do this. I had to figure this out for him and for me, because I knew, well, I have this baby, but guess what? This isn't going to stop me. I just put him on my hip and kept it moving, like a lot of women do. And so, you know, really that whole housewife thing became a part of my life. It became a part of my story. And I said, okay, well, there's women like this, and now I know who they are. And so again, fast forward, a girlfriend of mine was a video model, photographer. And I kind of was with her a lot. She would stay at my house. And, I remember seeing these women that were, volleying for positions in the front row of the screen to do these videos. And I was like, and we come from, Toronto is the mecca of video models, Melissa Ford and them.
Right.
And so I would again experience that, but this was a different level. And I remember being like, God, this should be a show.
Right.
And no television training, never went to school, never Googled a television, nothing, never picked up a book. I just said, this should be a show. And I remember looking at her and we laughed about it. And I said, oh, no, this could be whatever they're doing. They should be, people should see this.
Right.
So I started writing stuff down on a napkin. And to this day, I still remember all of that and really being inspired by thinking, I can make this into something. So again, fast forward, I had a chance meeting with Curtis Gadsden.